age, just born yesterday, literally. I've got to get them used to my hands. I've got to get them used to me so that they are, sociable. They don't have to be so trusting of me that, I pick them up or pet them all the time. But they do have to at least, know what a hand is. And I do this with my chickens too. My chickens aren't completely domesticated in terms of they won't, really appreciate you picking them up per se, but once they are picked up, they just sit there. They enjoy being pet. They just don't like the act of being picked up, which I think is sort of a prey instinct that, if you don't handle them enough, that doesn't, the being caught part, that instinct doesn't subside. But once they're already picked up, then they're fine. They actually enjoy being held once you've already caught them. They just don't like the act of being caught. So, and that's fine with me. That, if anything, that heightens their instincts, for when a predator tries to catch them. So I don't want to have them be too trusting, because their only experience is with me, and then they go out in the yard, and then they think something else, like a predator, is going to do the same thing I do. That's actually kind of dangerous if they didn't run away when I went to pick them up. So I want to encourage some natural instinct, but I do want them to realize, what a human is. Give them enough handling, like I said, that they know that once I do pick them up, nothing bad's going to happen. So not going to discourage running away, but just enough to kind of have them not freak out when you pick them up. It makes them more trusting of you, just in general. It makes them easier to handle if you do have an issue, if you do have a problem, if you need to inspect them for a wound or an injury of some sort. Just if you have to pick them up from one place, put them in another place, it really does have its benefits. And if they bond with you like that, and they're used to knowing who you are, I would imagine it'd be easier to train them, too. So I do this very, very gently. If you have kids that want to handle them a lot, I would not handle them this young at age, especially not Quail. But if you're doing it very, very, very gently like I'm doing it, then the only thing it's going to do is, remove that potential fear that they may have from you if you did not get them used to you. If you did not have them used to your hands and things. So, and if they do freak out, which these are too young to really have that experience right now, but if they do freak out, or ones that are kind of scared, I will pick up 2 at a time so that they don't get freaked out from being taken away from the rest of their brothers and sisters. They can get actually really, really stressed out, even just being picked up a very short distance away from them. They don't realize, that they're still close to them a lot of times, and they freak out. So, I can imagine it's something this big and being quite scary to them. So this is good just to have it sit here and let them investigate too, not do anything, especially at this young an age, since they don't have that fear set in yet. One of the best things to do is, not even worry about handling them much, really, but just having your hand sit here, and they'll actually walk up to it at this young. Now, if you get older chicks from store outlets or something, they won't walk up to your hand. They'll be scared of it. And you may have to sort of pick them up just to show them, this is what a hand is, this is what a hand does, you know, and show them what to expect, you know. So basically, if you pick them up like this and then they realize, oh, that's all it is, and then you set them down pretty quickly, you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad. So even with older chickens, they will figure that out. And I don't know about older quail, but I would imagine that quail would respond similarly as chickens do. We'll have to see. But again, these quail, I have the opportunity of just picking them up from day one, socializing them from day one. And so really there's no need, you know, to, unless I don't have enough time to come here as often as I need to. But you need to do this, you know, several times a day. Pick them up occasionally, but most of the time all you're doing is having your hand here or maybe very gently petting them. I mean barely touching them. Barely touching them. And that's the only reason why it's okay to do. If it's more than barely touching them, it's too hard. Especially with these teeny tiny quail. So, you know, you want to get to the point where they will just kind of crawl around your hand and investigate. And, you know, every once in a while, maybe move your fingers a little bit to show them that when your fingers move, nothing bad happens. You know, I'd say you'd want to do it at least 2 or 3 times a day, but if you can do it more than that, that's ideal. You don't want to be constantly chasing them around the brooder, pestering them, forcing them to be held, especially not for a long time. You know, a few seconds, then put them back until they really get used to you, you know, and encourage that behavior instead of making it a scary experience.